There are two kinds of people in this world. The people who fail to do what they know they should, and those who keep doing things they know they shouldn't. Guess what? You're both. Hi, I'm your host, life and business coach, Marcy Barker, aka your loving kick in the pants. In this podcast, I'll teach you the 6 steps of my accountability code that will help you wake up with clarity and show up with aligned action steps that make follow through easy and peaceful. All right, let's jump in. Good morning, my beautiful people. I have a fun podcast episode today because I asked in my business group for submissions on would you rather questions. And the reason why this is going to be fun is because the accountability code, the very first step of the process is reflection. Reflection is thinking on your goals, your values, and your problems. With these questions, I wanted to do would you rather questions because I feel like every business owner is going to improve if they know ahead of time what their answers are going to be when they get put in a tough spot. That doesn't mean you can't be open and adaptable and willing to do a better thing or a different thing. However, it's easier to be accountable when you know who you are and what you stand for. And this is just going to be a fun little episode about deciding in the moment. And I did get a few comments and I was thinking, I don't want to go through these too heavily. So I kind of just copied and pasted them. I didn't really filter through them because I want to answer all of them honestly. Here's the other thing that I was thinking is, would you rather questions? Sometimes it's really easy to pick both, and I'm going to try really hard to not pick both because then it kind of defeats the purpose of a would you rather. So as you listen to these questions, I want you to pause the podcast if you need to and think about these things and kind of form your own opinion before you hear me or somebody else answer for these. Because reflection as the first step of the accountability code is a really good way to start the next 5 steps way more accurately. If you have not yet, I encourage you to get my audiobook. You guys hear it in the little commercial, but download the book because the accountability code is going to help you in times of questioning, times of deciding and discerning between what you should do and what you could do. All right, so let's dive in. First question, would you rather control everything about your business or get some personal time back by turning over projects to someone else? Okay, delegating. This one is tough because I know that delegating is necessary if you're taking on a lot in your life, and it's not always easy to give other people projects. However, I will say that in my business right now, I don't offload very many things, and that's because I'm not trying to do too many things. At this point in time, I would have to answer, I would rather control everything about my business. And I say that because I know that if I'm putting too much on my plate, enough that I have to delegate a ton, then it's not really fun for me. And the direction my business is going, I'm not trying to take over the world. Like right now, I'm just trying to decide what I want to offer next and how I want to adapt my life and my business to work together. Because I have a lot of goals and dreams, but I still get personal time, so I don't feel like I need to delegate a lot. So that's what I would pick. Not picking both answers, totally honest about I want control about everything in my business, and that's what I'm doing, and right now it's working for me. Next question. Would you rather work hard for 5 to 7 years and have great residual income for life, or show up to appointments working every day for 25 to 30 years? This one is also kind of funny, and I know the person who answered this, so I feel like it's kind of a sales question of like, duh, what would you pick? Like, sign up for this thing and you'll have residual income forever. I have been in business 8 years now, and so I feel like it's been a ride. It's been a roller coaster. I definitely have not set myself up to like not have to work anymore. However, I have grown my business in ways that supports other income streams for me to be financially free. So doing business and showing up to appointments, working every day for 25 to 30 years, like that doesn't sound bad to me because I honestly love what I do. But to answer the question, would I rather work hard for 5 to 7 years and have great residual income or show up to appointments working every day for 25 to 30 years? I am going to have to pick the second option. Show up to appointments working every day for 25 to 30 years because I feel like even if or even when I'm financially free, I'm still going to be doing that because I absolutely love it and I run my life by my calendar. So it's hard to know or to define what working hard for 5 to 7 years is, because some people have to work a really long time before they do get residual income, and some people, they are not working that long. I have friends who make multiple 6 figures and they did not spend 5 to 7 years doing it. They did it very quickly and in a very smart way. So I'm going to have to pick showing up to appointments, working every day for 25 to 30 years because I enjoy what that's like now, and I feel like I can continue to adapt it for the future. Next question, would you rather have more time or money? This one I'm going to have to think about a little bit because more time, maybe everybody would wish for more time if they knew when they were going to die. But I don't know because I've never had like a near-death experience, so I'm not really sure if that's something I would wish for. More money feels like the wrong answer because then people would be like, you want more money? Like, you're selfish, you're greedy, or your priorities are screwed up. But would I rather have more time or money? Here's the thing. It's like everybody has the same amount of time. So it's kind of weird to ask for more time when everybody gets the same amount. But if you ask for more money, not everybody has the same amount of money. So would you rather have more time or money? Maybe I'm going to need you guys to comment on this one and weigh in and message me and let me know what context you would give to this question to make it more meaningful. But I think, would I rather have more time or money? I think I'm going to have to say money just because everybody has the same amount of time. How can I be given more time? I'm not sure. I would need more context. But for now, I pick money. Okay, next question. Would you rather speak up or be silent? This one, I hope you know, is very easy. I would totally speak up. I am not very good at staying silent. However, I am practicing staying silent in the right circumstances while doing reflection. So being silent can be good, but like speaking up, that's what I do. I speak up. And I did see one of my friends, she's a relationship coach, and she posted, are you A or B? Do you care about your relationship so you stay silent, or do you care about your relationship so you speak up? And I was like, oh, totally speak up. And actually, there is a story in my book that I recommend you all listen to. It's called Standing Up, and it's very similar to speaking up, but I talk about how I finally said something about my dad's abusive behavior to all of my family members. And that was a catalyst for a lot of change in my personal life and for my family. So I think that speaking up is always going to be more powerful than staying silent. But you're asking a person who's 93% extroverted. So I'm always going to pick speaking up. Would you rather work in a group or work alone? Now, this question is interesting because, like I just said, I'm very extroverted and I love being around people, but I feel like as I have gotten older, I have really valued my alone time, and I feel like I'm way more in the zone or in the zen when I'm by myself and I can work at my own pace. And I just did it for a couple hours. I was at my computer for like 3 or 4 hours and I really enjoyed it. I actually was not ready to record a podcast because I wanted to keep doing what I was doing. But I would have to say I would much rather work in a group just because being around people gives me life and it's fun. I enjoy talking. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy asking questions, and I enjoy getting stuff done. And at the end of the day, having more people gets stuff done a lot faster. So I think I would rather work in a group rather than work alone. Hey listeners, the message of waking up and showing up is yours for the taking. In fact, it's free. I've recorded my entire audiobook and I'd love for you to consume it between episodes. Head to marcybarker.com to get instant access to the accountability code Wake Up and Show Up. All right, let's jump back in. Next question, there's 2 more. Would you rather have people be nice or honest? Okay, I love this question. This one's like a no-brainer for me. I would much rather people be honest. The reason why is because you've probably heard me say this before on the podcast, is that the accountability code only works if you're honest. I feel like being nice is a good thing, but it doesn't exactly bring the results of what we want out of life. Like, life is not supposed to be nice. Life is actually meant to test us and to see what we're going to do with the challenges that we've been given and with the trials that we face. And I feel like being nice is just rarely the answer to solve the problems. But being honest, that's usable. That is doable when we're learning and growing. So would you rather have people be nice or honest? I totally want people to be honest, just because I don't think being nice gives me everything that I need. And in general, like, nice people are great, but honest people make things happen. I don't know. How are you guys stacking up against my answers? Would you answer the same or not? I really want to hear your feedback. All right, the last question before I talk a little bit more about reflection is, would you rather be honest all the time or liked all the time? Okay, this one's going a little bit deeper. Would you rather be honest all the time? Let's talk about that. If I was honest all the time, which I strive to be, I feel like I'd be moving in the direction that I want to go. I tell people I don't want to live my life with regrets, and I feel like if I'm honest with myself, then I can't go wrong. So that's really powerful to me. But being honest all the time is hard, because just like speaking up, okay, it's kind of like, just because you know something about somebody doesn't mean you have to say it, or just because you know you're right or something needs to be said, it doesn't mean that the time that you say it is the right time to say it. And somebody I saw on social media talked about this. He said this boy went to his friend's dance recital and he was completely bored out of his mind. He didn't think they were good. The production wasn't great. And afterwards, the friend who danced, she came out and she was so excited. And she said, "What'd you think?" And instead of giving his opinion, he said, "I am so glad that I could be here for you." And she was ecstatic. She was happy. She was proud of herself. And he knew that in that moment was not the time to say, that show really sucked. The production, like, what were they thinking? The lights, costumes, all that was horrible. And he talked about the way to address it was, does it need to be addressed later? Does he need to say, "Hey, can I share my real feelings with you now? Or can I share my feelings after I've had the time to process it?" Or he can simply wait for her to bring it up again and then share his honest thoughts if needed. So when I heard that, I was thinking, wow, that is a really big thing to consider when being honest, is having tact and timing. And this is something I'm still learning, something I'm still practicing, because even now, sometimes I send messages to people that I'm like, I can help you, and I can see there's a disconnect, and they're like, who are you to tell me that? You don't even know me, and you should mind your own business. So if I said the same thing to somebody who asked for the feedback or asked for the honesty, it would make all of the difference. And so being honest all the time, I feel like needs some considering still in how it's processed and how it's experienced. Now, being liked all the time, this is also really interesting for me to answer, because who doesn't want to be liked? And especially as an extrovert, and I was student body president in 8th grade. I ran for class president in 4th grade, and my dad taught me that you always vote for yourself, and I won class president in 4th grade by 1 vote. And so I learned to really have a lot of confidence in myself, but to root for myself and to go out and chase what I wanted. So being liked makes a difference. And now that I say that, one of my top 5 strengths is woo. WOO, and that stands for winning others over. I have a real skill of getting people to like me. I am charismatic. I feel like I'm charming. I think I'm funny. I'm entertaining. And I think there's a lot to like about me. And so being liked all the time does feel good. I was also a cheerleader. I tried out for the cheerleading team for a joke in high school. And I learned a lot about putting myself out there and becoming somebody who is attractive. And not just attractive in looks, because I don't try that hard to be attractive in looks, but I want to be somebody who people want to be around. So being liked all the time wow, now that I'm reminiscing, like that is something that is very important to me. But when you compare the two, like being honest all the time or being liked all the time, which one's most important? Obviously, being honest is more important because especially in a world with social media and getting only a snapshot of people's lives, it's easy for people to like just one part of you. But being honest, man, that's like the deeper layers of you. That's every part of you. So I would have to say I'd rather be honest all of the time or liked all the time. And I'm definitely getting older and to the point where I'm like, I don't care if you like me. This is who I am and this is what I'm working to become. And I understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So that's what I would pick. I would rather be honest all the time. Now, when you think of your own answers to these would you rather questions, what emotions are coming up for you? In reflection, when I go through my client calls, we talk about what's been on your heart and your mind. And I usually ask people what has been taking up your mental energy and what do you want to focus on in this call today? Because when you focus on the things that are actually bothering you and taking up your mental energy, you are way more motivated to solve or accomplish that thing. Everything we do in life, we are either running towards pleasure or we're running away from pain. And reflection is a very good way for you to develop that sense of direction. Am I running from something or am I running to something? And these would you rather questions, I feel like, is a really easy way for you to practice reflection. And let me just give you a little spoiler or a hint, like you're never done reflecting. Reflecting is something that you will always have to do. You will never stop. And that's because we're human. We were blessed with a spirit and a body together. And reflection is your ability to say, what are all these things that I'm taking in physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? And what does it mean for me moving forward? What does it mean for me in this moment? And how am I going to take those things and move forward by being accountable to being in alignment? And I'm going to share my favorite quote. Again, this is my mantra. True happiness comes only when our spirits learn to control our bodies, training them to be governed by the laws of God. I want you to know that reflection is such an important gift that we have to say, how do I want to connect my mind and body today? How will me listening to these messages make follow through more easy and more peaceful as I go about my day? So if you want more would you rather questions, I highly encourage you. Just like put them on your social media. Ask your friends and family. You can even Google some and answer them. Take some time to really get into the deeper layers of like what is important to you, what would you want to do moving forward, and how can your ability to discern and make choices help you become more accountable. If you want any help with this, or you just want to play like a would you rather game with me, I would love for you to book a call with me. You guys can do that by going to my site. But ultimately, friends, I want you to know that reflection is such a powerful tool and you have it at your fingertips right now. Remember, you are powerful and you have been given the gift for a reason. Hey friends, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Your Loving Kick in the Pants. If you got any value out of this episode, I would love for you to drop me a review or share with a friend what you learned. All right, I'll see you next Wednesday for Your Loving Kick in the Pants.